Hello, everyone. How are we today? Hi, Crystal. Trying to get that glare off my glasses. There we go. I think that's a little better. Is everything settled over in Wish Witches? Tired. Oh, I bet. I bet. You need to go to bed early today. We all do. Oh, good. I saw that Amanda was running a selfie thing, and I was like, okay. It's good. Oh, it's up to the 3-year-old when you go to sleep. Yeah, that's true. That is definitely true. I don't have that problem. The cat doesn't keep me up at night. I know it's completely different than a kid, but the cat doesn't keep me up at night, but he wakes me up. Oh, just for fun? I thought it was a game. I was like, uh-oh, a game, and we're going to be in here. Oh, that's cool. Give it a couple of more minutes before I start, and then I'm just going to start. Okay, so I'm going to get started because of anybody who's watching the replay doesn't want me to sit here. And yes, cats are very much like our kids. You're absolutely right. Speaking of cats, he's down here biting my foot. So for anybody who is watching, for those of you that are returning, thank you for coming back. For those of you that are new here, welcome. This is week 6 of the tarot course, but if you have not been here, don't worry about it. You can get the previous videos on my channel, and you can catch up on the notes if you go to the Facebook group, which is linked down in the description below. So you still have plenty of time to catch up. So this week we are, hard to believe, we're on week 6, and we are doing the Hermit card and the Wheel of Fortune. I confused myself because I pulled out the High Priestess card to compare, and I was like, no, High Priestess is card 2. But anyway, so we're going to jump right in. I always do this at the beginning for those of you that are new here. The decks that I use, the main deck that I will teach from is the Rider Waite deck, the traditional Rider Waite that you've all seen. This is the back of it. This is the style of the deck. Other decks I will show in the course, the Cat Tarot, which is adorable. The Light Seers deck, which is one of my favorites. Modern Witch Tarot, which is very quickly becoming one of my favorites. the A.E Waite Holographic Tarot, Tarot of Sexual Magic, which I do give kind of a disclaimer before I pull these cards because they are not appropriate if children are in the room, and the Game of Thrones Tarot. The books that I kind of use for my information and that I pull information from for the course and that are part of my collection, Holistic Tarot by Benebell Wen. I always get her name confused. When we get to the court cards, I'll use Ethony Dawn's Your Tarot Court. The Everything Tarot book by Skye Alexander. And The Ultimate Guide to Tarot by Liz Dean. Now, all of these decks and cards are linked below in the description, so if you want to check the decks out or the books out, you can feel free to look them up on your own. You do not by any means need to buy any of these to participate in the course. I just give them for your information. So the other thing I want to let you know is that if you would like to take notes, you can take notes. If you prefer not to take notes and just to listen, you can get the notes using the link below. You can just come in and get the notes. I make notes for every class, so you can just grab them and you don't have to sit and write if you don't feel like it. So the first card this week is the Hermit card, which is the card of self-exploration, introspection, solitude, and wisdom. The Hermit is the guardian of higher thoughts. He goes inward to look for answers, but not everything is revealed at once with this card. If someone wiser offers advice, it might be wise to take their advice. The Hermit can either be a beacon of light for others or the seeker. So when we're doing readings and this card comes up, we have to look for neighboring cards to figure out if the Hermit is to be interpreted as the beacon of light for others or the seeker, the one who needs the advice. And, you know, there's always two ways to interpret all of the cards. And the important thing with all of these cards really is interpret the card the way you feel. Because I might look at this card and I might interpret it one way, you might interpret it another way, and the next reader might interpret it another way. And a lot of times when you see it, you might hear a reader teach the card has one meaning, and then you watch her read or him read, and you'll see him read the card a different way, and you might question, why is that happening? And honestly, the reason that that's happening is because sometimes when you look at the card, something different pops out to you, and you just go with what you're feeling intuitively that day. So go with what feels right to you at that time. Don't hinder yourself because you think that's not what the card means. So I'm going to go over some of the symbology of the card. Okay, so we have on this one, we have the staff, which we've seen in other major arcanas. This staff symbolizes self-support. Okay, he can. Then we have the lantern, which is a beacon of light, right? We said that already. And the star inside of the lantern is a sign of hope for things to come. So the lantern Wow, I am so sorry. I clicked out of the window. So the lantern is a beacon of light, shining light onto what's going to happen next. And the way you're going to find out what is going to be next on the path is going to be to look to those cards that are next to this card in the spread. No, it was me. I clicked on the, I meant to put my hand down and I hit the mouse. Yeah, it was totally me. So then we have the old man. The old man, if you have any older man in tarot, it symbolizes wisdom. And the gaze downward and the reflection symbolizes retreat and discretion. So this card is all about going inside of yourself. It's all about retreat, discretion, analyzing your own thoughts. And I'm just going to read the summary that I wrote. Hello, hello. Good to see you. I'm so glad to see you. I'm going to read the summary on the card because I wrote it out and I did not, it's not something that I normally say about the card. When the Hermit appears, we're asked to look to the neighboring cards to decide if we are the beacon of light or the seeker. Either way, when we gain the information, we must retreat within to dissect the information and consider our next steps. Meditation, solitude, and introspection are key here. So that is our Hermit card. He is pretty straightforward. You have 2 questions to ask. I really love this card. And I'm going to give you some examples of the Hermit, like I do every week. The first one is the holographic. How are you doing, sweetie? I hope you're doing well. I should have separated these before, but I pulled them out. That makes the difference, right? Okay. All right. Good. I'm glad to hear you're doing really good. That is awesome. So the first example I'm going to show is the holographic, the A.E Waite. It's the same one as the regular RSW. Guys, I know you'll both love this one. Look at this Hermit card. How cute is that? It's like my favorite. That one is adorable. I was looking at some of your crystals that are for sale, and they are just amazing that were posted today. I know that my cat does that all the time. He goes in the bag and he thinks nobody can see him. And then this is the Game of Thrones. I can't remember what character this is. I think it might be Brandon, but I'm not sure. It's been so long since I watched it. And then we have the Hermit in the Modern Tarot is a gorgeous female hermit who appears to be retreating to her workshop and about to get into something funky, some kind of spell or something. But she's got her laptop there, which I find interesting. So maybe she is researching her options online. Maybe that's where she's going to find her. She's going to find her information. And then the last card. This is the Sexual Magic Tarot. So if you have little eyes around, not the greatest deck to have them seeing. So I'll show you the back first. And then this is the card. It appears that this hermit is kind of off to the side, not wanting to see what he's seeing and contemplating his options. So the hermit is all about contemplating our options, going within. Very meditative, very introspective, solitude, all those words. Oops, now I'm dropping them. Does anybody have any questions about the Hermit card before I move on to the Wheel card? Which one, October? This one? I know there's a delay. This one, the Modern Tarot, or this one? Okay, good. All right. So, I don't know if you saw the change. Yeah, the Sex Magic is a beautiful card. I like that one. Some of them are a little weird. That one I like. I don't know if you saw, I don't know how active you've been lately, but all of the notes, if you missed any of them, October, are now being posted in the Facebook group. I'm not sending them via email. It's just easier to post them. So if you missed any of them, you can just go into the group and grab them. Or if you do need me to email them to you, I can do that too. Whatever works best for you. All right, so then we have the second card for today. Is the Wheel of Fortune, which I always thought had a different meaning, as bad as that sounds. I always had it as fate, and that if life threw you a curveball, so life has ebbs and flows, right? So if you were down in life, it was going to come back up, right? So that's the way I always saw the card. But what I didn't realize was it also has a psychic part to it, which I'll get into. So the Wheel of Fortune, it is all about fate. It's about turning points in life. It's about destiny. It's about changing. Okay, it is about all of that. Oh, no problem. I'm glad I told you. So it's about the all those ebbs and flows in life and changes. So life is a constant change, and we have to ride those changes, because if we're pushing against the changes in life, we're never going to be at peace. The only way we can truly be at peace with life is if we go with the flow. And that's what the Wheel of Fortune card is about. And I didn't even show the Wheel of Fortune card yet. It's the Wheel of Fortune from the A.E Waite deck. Right? If we're going against that wheel, we're never going to be at peace. We have to ride with it. And I found this that I thought was beautiful. It says, if we want to find peace, we have to learn to plant the seeds we want to harvest in the season they need to grow in. I thought that was beautiful. So the Wheel of Fortune represents all those ebbs and flows in life. You'll be facing change in life when this card comes up. What goes up must come down. However, we needn't fear this. This is temporary, and the fates will once again change. Unexpected events will occur, and you will see psychic abilities emerge in yourself and those around you. Now, that was the part that I had never heard before, that this card represents psychic abilities emerging. So I started looking, after I read that, I started thinking, well, what symbols on here would represent psychic abilities? Like, why psychic abilities? So then I started looking at the other cards that we had already gone through, and I realized that the High Priestess and the Wheel both have a blue background. And the blue background represents the unconscious, not the unconscious, geez, I keep saying that, the subconscious. The yellow backgrounds on the cards, like the Magician, and I think the Fool has a yellow background, if I'm not mistaken, but I know the Magician does for sure. That represents the conscious mind and clear sight. You can see things clearly, right? But with the Wheel of Fortune, with the High Priestess, it's this subconscious mind. So that's where we lean into the psychic, the subconscious. So that was the first thing I thought of was, okay, so I started looking at that. Then I started looking at the symbols. Okay, the first was the color. Then I thought, all right, well, the wheel, I looked into that. The wheel in ancient Egypt was a symbol for the sun. So again, the sun god. Okay. Then on the wheel is inscribed T-A-R-O. T-A-R-O was also on the scroll of the High Priestess. So now we have another connection to the High Priestess besides the background. If you can see it here, which I don't know if you can, T-A-R-O is on her scroll. So that was two connections to the High Priestess. Then on the wheel, we have the alchemical, I can never say that word, symbols that represent fire, air, earth, and water, the 4 suits, or the 4 elements. Well, the 4 elements or the 4 suits. I was wondering if you took that, Crystal. I saw the voice message come across my phone and I said, uh-oh. So we have the link to the elements. We have the link to the elements are always a link to the 4 suits, the minor arcana, the cups, the pentacles, the swords, and the wands. So that these are things that you're going to see come up again and again in the cards, and you'll be able to start to read them, just like the colors of the backgrounds. You'll be able to read them. So next, this card is another connection to the Chariot, which we did last week. The Sphinx on this card. The Sphinx is a symbol of unity and diversity because it embodies the human face, the eagle wings, and the body of the lion and tail of the bull, which again relates back to the 4 elements. Okay, so then we have the snake. The snake, according to A.E Waite, is a legendary monster. He has his head down to show the negative aspects of fate. So we have the negative aspects of fate here. Then we have the god Anubis over here. The god Anubis is said to be representing the rising good. So we have the duality of the good and evil of fate shown on either side of the wheel. And I think this is the last one. Let me see. I know this is a lot, but like I said, yeah, this is the last one. Like I said, I have all the notes written, so you don't have to be scribbling. The last one is that we have the angel and the 3 animals. Okay, we have the angel, we have the lion, we have a bull, and we have an eagle. So that's the 4 corners of the card. Oops, the 4 corners of this card. Again, okay, they represent Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John from the New Testaments. They also represent the 4 elements again, and in turn, the 4 suits of the major arcana. Hi, Cindy, how are you? So there's a lot of links back to the suits and the elements in this card, and a lot of links to the other, to the cards we've previously studied. That was a lot of symbology in this card. Let me just look at my notes and make sure I got everything I wanted to say. Yeah. So I think I feel like you guys are always on live, Cindy. Every day I'm catching you guys on different lives. It's amazing. I love it. So this card is a ton to do with fate and events that are not yet determined. They are all about things that are, this card is all about change. It's about events that are not yet determined, chance meetings, chance occurrences. These are, anything is possible now. Fate is in control. So a lot of times when we're talking about if you're doing a reading and you pull a lot of the cards turn out to be major arcanas, it is said that the events that are happening are out of your control. So I feel that way with this card. When you pull the Wheel of Fortune, it's kind of like things might not be too much in your control. Things are up to fate right now, but again, look to the cards next to it to see what aspect of life it's influencing. You're always going to look to the cards near you to get those answers, or near this card, not near you, I'm sorry. Also, anything is possible now. So if you've had it's been you or the seeker has had, a lot of down luck. It's been really bad. This is a good time because things are going to change. So this is a really positive card because things are changing and anything is possible. So this is a good omen. Psychic insight right now could really be prevalent. So be on the lookout for that. Trust your instinct right now. I know it is so hard for us to trust that instinct. Crystal and I were having this conversation earlier. Sometimes you just don't know when to trust your instinct. Now, when this card is popping up and the change is coming and things are kind of left to fate, you got to go with trusting your instinct and knowing that go with your gut. And along with the psychic insights, you're going to have hidden abilities are going to emerge that you did not know you even had. So you're going to have all these changes coming. Go with the flow. Going back to, I said that before with the Hermit, the Hermit, you're going to go inside yourself to find where your path is going. Now, this is the next card that, and I know they don't always come together in a reading, but when you're talking about the major arcana, it's the next card, and I hope that's not confusing. But because we're studying them that way, that's why I'm talking that way. With the Wheel of Fortune, you just got to go with the flow. Don't fight it. Because if you're fighting against that wheel, look at the way the god is just hanging on the bottom of that wheel and riding it. If you're going to fight against it, it's just not going to work. So that is how the Wheel of Fortune is read, or the way I read it. Again, when you're reading these cards, please, don't take what I say or what you read in any book or what you see online as gospel. Because you're going to look at this card and one day you're going to see a different symbol. Go with what you see and what your instinct tells you. Because I'll tell you, from one day to the next, I might read the card completely different because I feel something in my gut that's different. And I think any reader can tell you that. So let's look at some of the other examples I have for cards for you for the wheel. So the first one I have is the Light Seers deck. And she's kind of balancing on the wheels. And she's leaving everything to chance. This is an interesting one. I kind of like this one. We see the Tarot, so we see the elements represented. Oops, sorry about that. We see the elements are represented. We see the duality is there. It's a little different, but the duality is there of the light and dark. But it's a different take on it. Then we have the, oh, I'm going to wait to show you the Tarot of Sexual Magic, because that one, no little eyes should be seeing. So I'll wait till the end to show you that one. This is the Tarot, Modern Witch Tarot. Okay, so we have the wheel, and we have the symbols in the corner as opposed to the animals and the angel, which is a little different. And we have the male and the female instead of the snake and the god. So we still have that duality represented. I like this take. I think I kind of expected more from the Modern Witch Tarot. Oops, sorry, I'm just going to get rid of this. Ooh, I don't know how to close that. Hopefully it won't go off again. Okay. Are you guys still with me? I heard someone say the Wheel of Fortune is the worst card to get. So you agree? I don't think the Wheel of Fortune is the worst card to get. I think there are a lot of other cards that are worse to get than the Wheel of Fortune. Oh man. Sorry, Discord is going crazy in the background. Yeah. Wheel of Fortune is, it's just, things are going to be changing. And if you learn to go with the flow, you're going to be fine. I don't think it's really the worst card. I don't see any of the cards, though, as the worst card. All the cards give us an opportunity to learn. They're all about life's lessons, right? So I don't see any of them as the worst card. So that's a hard one for me to answer. Sorry. I don't know how to get rid of that Discord. I have to figure that out, the notifications. So the next one I want to show you is the Cat Tarot, which I'm obsessed with the Cat Tarot. That's this one. And he's like running around in the, it almost looks like a hamster wheel. I love it. We got the eagle. And I think, is that mice? I can't, yeah. Mice instead of the other animals that we see. So he's in his little Wheel of Fortune running around. Yes, they can all have good and bad to them. Absolutely. Every single card. And it's going to depend, October, because I don't read reversals. You're going to have to make that decision if you want to read reversals. But even if you don't read reversals, they still can all have good and bad to them. So, I mean, it's just, and it's going to be what cards they're sitting next to and how you read them. You made a video for that today. Oh, on how to get rid of the Discord notifications? That's awesome. I have to figure that out because that's annoying when you're live. So this one is the Game of Thrones Tarot. And it looks like it's just, God, I'm getting old. My eyes are so bad. It looks like it's just the wheel, like a sailor's wheel and a bird. So this one I'm not too impressed with. I don't know. And then this is the one. All right, guys. Little eyes need to be gone for this one. This is the back. So I'll give you a minute. All right. All right. So here we go. This is the one for the Wheel of Fortune, which is an interesting take on it. It's beautiful. It's a very interesting take on it. I'm not sure what that has to do with the Wheel of Fortune. The more I look at this deck, the more I think I really have to get into using it, but I won't use that deck for client reads. And I won't use it. I don't have any client reads right now because of the pandemic, and I won't use it for lives, and I won't use it with friends. So it's kind of one of those decks where you're like, you can only use it for a certain amount of people, and I'm only showing it because so many people wanted to see the cards in it when I told them I had it. So it's one of those decks where I'm like, they're interesting and they're pretty, but I don't know. And I know some of you wanted the walkthrough of that one. I will still do a walkthrough eventually. I have some other walkthroughs I want to get to first. But those are the cards for this week. Does anybody have any questions? I know I'm seriously lagging on comments, which is hard. Okay, I don't think anybody has any questions. I think we're down. All right, guys, I am going to wrap it up. I think my screen is lagging or you guys are quiet. I'm not sure which, but I'm going to wrap it up. If you have any questions, you know where to contact me. Thank you for being here tonight. I look forward to seeing you all again. I look forward to seeing you all again. I hope this was helpful. And I will see you for Tarot Tuesday night. It will be back on. And then I will be back next Thursday for Tarot study again. So be well. Have a great night. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.